What if your own brain is the thing holding you back right now? Not your circumstances, not other people, not bad luck. Your brain. Specifically, the way it keeps replaying the same thoughts, generating the same feelings, pushing you toward the same behaviors, and then feeding those results right back into the same thoughts. It's a loop, a feedback loop. And most people have no idea they're stuck in one until years have passed and they're standing in the exact same emotional spot they were in 5 years ago, wondering why nothing ever changes. Today I'm going to walk you through the 7 signs that your mind is caught in one of these loops. And I want to be clear from the start, this isn't about making you feel bad about yourself. Feedback loops are not a character flaw. They're a feature of how the human brain works. The brain loves efficiency. It loves patterns. It loves doing what it did yesterday, because yesterday you survived, and survival is the whole point as far as your nervous system is concerned. The problem is that this survival mechanism can trap you in emotional and psychological patterns that are quietly destroying your potential, your relationships, and your sense of who you actually are. So let's get into the signs. And as I go through these, I want you to be honest with yourself. Really honest. Sign number 1. You think the same thoughts before bed every single night. This one sounds almost too simple to be a real problem, but it is one of the most telling indicators that your mind is running a script. If you lie down at night and within minutes you're cycling through the same worries, the same regrets, the same what-ifs that you cycled through last night and the night before, your brain has automated that process. It's not that the thoughts are meaningful or productive. It's just that your brain has learned to run that particular program at that particular time. The thought triggers an emotion. The emotion reinforces the thought as important, and the loop tightens. Night after night. Sign number 2. Your emotional reactions feel bigger than the situation calls for. You know that feeling when someone says something mildly critical and suddenly your chest tightens, and your mind floods with what feels like a life or death response. That disproportionate reaction is your feedback loop talking. What's happening is that your brain has been running the same emotional response to a certain type of trigger for so long that it's built a superhighway to that reaction. The current situation barely even matters at that point. It's just a trigger that sends you down a familiar road. The road was paved a long time ago, possibly in childhood, possibly from a difficult experience, and now your brain takes it automatically. Sign number 3. You predict the future based entirely on your past. This one is subtle because it masquerades as wisdom or realism. You might tell yourself that you're just being practical, that you're not getting your hopes up because you've been disappointed before. But there's a difference between genuine learning from experience and using your past as a template to construct a ceiling on your future. When your predictions are consistently pessimistic and consistently match your previous disappointments, you're not being realistic. You're letting your loop do your forecasting. Sign number 4. You keep attracting the same types of situations or relationships. This one makes people uncomfortable because it implies some level of personal responsibility for patterns they'd rather blame entirely on external factors. But here's what's actually happening. Your feedback loop shapes the choices you make, the signals you put out, what you pay attention to, and what you unconsciously invite into your life. If every relationship ends the same way, if you keep ending up in the same type of job situation, if drama seems to follow you, the common denominator is worth examining. Not to beat yourself up, but to get curious about what loop might be running underneath those patterns. Sign number 5. You feel most comfortable when things are bad. This is the one people least want to hear and most need to. There are people who genuinely feel more at home in chaos and struggle in crisis than they do in calm and stability. When things are going well, they feel uneasy. They wait for the other shoe to drop. They might even unconsciously create problems to restore a sense of normalcy. If this sounds familiar, it's because your nervous system has been calibrated to a certain level of stress. That stress level feels like home, calm feels like danger, and so your brain keeps steering you back toward what it knows, even when what it knows is painful. Sign number 6. Your self-talk follows a predictable script. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself when you make a mistake. Is it the same voice every time? The same words? The same level of harshness? If your internal monologue runs on autopilot when things go wrong, that's a loop. For a lot of people, that internal voice sounds like someone from their past, a critical parent, a dismissive teacher, a harsh coach. You internalize that voice at some point, and now your brain runs it automatically. The loop isn't just about thoughts and emotions. It's about the entire narrative your mind uses to make sense of who you are and what you deserve. Sign number 7. You know what you need to change, but you don't change it. This is the one that ties all the others together. You've read the books, you've had the insights, you might have even talked to a therapist. You intellectually understand what's not working. You can articulate it clearly. And yet, nothing shifts. This is the clearest sign that you're dealing with a feedback loop rather than just a lack of information. Because information alone doesn't break loops. Insight alone doesn't break loops. The loop operates at a level beneath conscious understanding. It lives in your body, in your habits, in your automatic responses, in the grooves your brain has worn smooth through years of repetition. Now here's where this gets interesting, and this is the part most videos about this topic skip over completely. Understanding that you're in a feedback loop is only step 1. And honestly, it's the easy step. The harder question is why the loop is so resistant to breaking even when you can see it clearly. The answer comes down to something called emotional prediction. Your brain doesn't just remember the past. It uses the past to constantly predict what's coming next. And it structures your perception, your attention, and your behavior to make those predictions come true. It's not doing this to sabotage you. It's doing this because confirmed predictions feel safe. Even when the prediction is something painful, the familiarity of having your prediction confirmed is neurologically rewarding in a way that novelty and uncertainty simply are not. This is why willpower alone doesn't work. You can want to break the loop with every conscious cell in your brain, but if the loop is running on the predictive architecture of your nervous system, wanting isn't enough. You need to interrupt the pattern at the level where it actually lives. So what actually works? 3 things, and I want you to really sit with these. First, you have to learn to recognize the loop while you're in it, not after. Most people only notice the loop in retrospect. Oh, I did that thing again. The practice is to catch it in real time. That moment when you feel the familiar emotional pull, when you hear the familiar thought forming, when your body starts moving toward the familiar behavior. That moment is your window. That moment, if you can pause even for 2 or 3 seconds, is where the loop can be interrupted. Second, you need new emotional experiences, not just new thoughts. Your brain encodes learning through emotion. If you want to write a new pattern, you need to feel something genuinely different in response to your triggers. This is why practices like therapy, especially body-based approaches, meditation, breath work, and even deep creative expression can work when intellectual understanding alone fails. You're not trying to think your way out of the loop. You're trying to feel your way into a different response. Third, consistency matters more than intensity. One dramatic breakthrough does very little compared to small, repeated interruptions of the pattern over time. The loop was built through repetition. The new pathway gets built the same way. Every time you respond differently to a familiar trigger, you're laying down new neural architecture. You're literally rewiring the brain's prediction system. But it takes time, and it takes showing up even when it doesn't feel like it's working. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Your feedback loop is not your destiny. It's a pattern, and patterns, by definition, can be changed. But you have to stop waiting for change to happen through thinking about it. The loop doesn't care about your thoughts. It cares about what you actually do, what you actually feel, what you actually practice in the moments when it matters most. If you recognized yourself in even one or two of these signs today, that recognition is already the beginning of something different. Don't let your brain talk you out of that. Don't let it loop back to, yeah, but nothing ever really changes. That thought right there is the loop asking you to stay comfortable, and you don't have to listen to it anymore. If this shifted something in you, go deeper. Your next step is already waiting.